Okay everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to move a Drupal website, Drupal 7 or Drupal 8, doesn't matter, using FTP and control panel on the remote server. And as you can see, this is our local site here, and this is where it's going to be going, is to this site, which as you can see is forbidden. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to your localhost cpanel, or not cpanel, but I use phpMyAdmin. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to log in, I'm going to find my database that I'm using. This is the database that I'm using right here. As you can see. And what I want to do is if I go into my control panel here, and this is on the web server, and this is cPanel, so any host that has cPanel you can use it on that. I do not have SSH access to this site, so this is why I'm having to do it this way. So let's get started here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to MySQL databases, and in here you can see I don't have any databases created, but the database that I am going to be has this right here. This is a prequel. This is the name of the user, pretty much. So what I want to do is I want to make sure my database name has that and then the name. As you can see here, it's a little bit different. I try to keep them the same, but I didn't get it the same on this one. But that's okay. We're just going to go ahead, and the first thing you want to do again is you want to go back to your website, and this is on the local, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to flush the cache, because we don't need no extra data. So let's just flush it, clear everything out, so we're pretty much clear. Give it a second here. There we go. So we're all cleared out there. So now if I go back to my localhost, and this is the database, I'm going to export it, and I'm just going to do a SQL, click go, and then I'm going to save it here. As you can see, I've already done this because I was testing it. I'm just going to overwrite this one. Okay, and as you can see, we're done here. So let me open this folder, show in folder. Okay, so this is not exactly named the same, and I want it to be named the same, the prequel here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to use Sublime. I know Sublime works. Okay, so now here is the database name. I'm just going to change this. I need to add a P so they match to the one that is in my... I don't worry about this because I can name this whatever, and I'm just going to name it the same. I'm just going to worry about this prequel because on the server it automatically adds that, so it has to match. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to close this out. So I'm done there. So now I'm going to go back to the cPanel, and I'm going to go back home into the cPanel, and I'm going to go to backups. And in backups, what we're going to do is I'm going to restore a MySQL database. Choose the file. The file I'm going to choose is the one that I just created. Where is it? Right there. Open it. And then I'm going to go upload here. And so this is going to restore it and build this database. Since there's not a database, it will create a database. And hopefully it will be named exactly the way we want it to be named. Alright. So we got that, it's created it. We can go ahead and close that out. And now if we go back to Home, Databases, scroll all the way down, MySQL Databases. We can see we have this and it's named correctly, Drupal 7, and it's 34 megabytes. So what I'm going to do now is I want to create a user. I always create a user that has access to the database, and I just call it Drupal. And I need to give it a password, so give me 1 second here and I will get that password put in. Okay, so we got that done. We now have a user. So now next thing I want to do is I want to add this user to the database so it has access. So this is my user and this is the database. I want it. I just click add, give it all privileges, make changes. So that will give that user access. Okay, so we've gotten the database set up and a user set up for that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our browser here, and I'm going into my local. This is our local install. Let me go ahead and delete this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to zip all these up. I'm going to select all except for this documents folder. That's just for local files that I keep. So we select all, and then we're just going to zip it. You can zip it with whatever file that you use to compress it, zip it, however you want to do it. And we're going to say create. So this is basically just going to zip up all the files for me so I can easily upload this to the FTP via FTP. So let's let this get done. Okay. So now we have the file here, as you can see. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my file manager. I use FileZilla here, and then I'm going to connect to the site. There's the site, connect, and we are in. Okay, so go ahead and get rid of these. Don't need them. Okay, so basically I just had, this is an empty on my remote server. So I'm going to move this tar zipped file here over. Upload this, let it upload. I understand, a lot of you might think that, well, I could just, copy all these or just grab all these and dump them over, but it just takes forever to upload all the files for a Drupal 7 or a Drupal 8 site, especially Drupal 8. It will take forever. And since I don't have SSH access, this is pretty much the easiest way to do it. Okay, so now I have this here uploaded. This is my tar file. I am going to go back here to the control panel. Let me go back home. And there is a file browser where you can look at File Manager. We're going to go to the File Manager and we're going to go into the root directory. And we can see our file. I'm just going to simply right click on it and extract it. And we're going to extract it right here. And this will extract all the files. As you can see, is done. We can close that out, and they have all been extracted. This is our zip file. Go ahead and delete that. Yes. Okay, so now all we need to do is we need to make sure that our database user and settings is correct. So I'm going to go into Sites All, Default, Settings. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this file. I'm going to edit. Okay, and I'm going to go in this file, and I'm going to go ahead and edit and make sure my database username, which should be the database username, and the database name itself is correct, and put my password in and all that. And let me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I made my changes, so I'm going to save it. Okay, and I'm going to close it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the permissions on this to 444. We are done there. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to open this up. Let's see, it's my local host. Let me just open a new tab here. Tesco's Pump and Supply, and there we go. The site is been transferred. It's all up. It all works. Everything is great. And that is a quick and easy way to move your website to your hosting without SSH access. And I believe that's it. Thank you.